Hello and welcome to Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi on YYC Business. Joining me today is Kate Thompson, who is the president and CEO of the Calgary Municipal Land Corporation. Thanks for joining us, Kate.
Pleasure to be here, Mario. Thanks for asking.
Well, you guys had some big news to share today, but the start, so to speak, of the rebuilding of the LRT station at Stampede Park and the extension of 17th Avenue. Can you talk maybe a little bit and explain a little bit about what that project entails?
Absolutely. So a lot of Calgarians would know it as the area where 17th Avenue runs straight into McLeod Trail, right at the Stampede station and Victoria Park's LRT station. And this used to be the front door of Calgary Stampede before in the 80s, the LRT line came in. And as valuable of a line as that is, it also kind of created a block to the area. So our work has been a part of the Rivers District Master Plan, which CMLC oversees, and has been about breaking through that block and opening up Stampede Park to the rest of downtown Calgary. And so this is a 3-year construction project. It's about $83 million to not only bring the road across, but it's rebuilding the entire station as we know it today.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that, the road itself and the importance of that. Like, why is that such an important thing to have that road opened up?
Yeah, I mean, it is really important. When we started working on the master plan in about 2019, we tried to look at what are some of the big moves that you can do to connect this area to others. It's very similar strategy that we used for East Village. Connectivity was really, really important in that scenario as well. The 4th Street underpass, bridges to other areas. Same thing applies and same baseline understanding to this area. How can you reconnect it in a way that it was previously to the rest of Beltline and downtown? So the roadway coming across McLeod Trail and over the LRT line, what it does is it opens up the connection to 4th Street and creates kind of a loop and an ability for retailers to exist in that area and bring bars and restaurants in and around the culture and entertainment district to make it more vibrant, less of a just coming here for one event and more of a place to come to and explore.
Now, when you're also looking at opening things up, I guess this would also have the benefit of the businesses along 17th that are up the street there. Let me get my directions right, but west
yeah.
of the grounds, right?
Absolutely. I mean, this is as much about that area, the Red Mile area and 17th and all the businesses there, and trying to carry that vibrancy that's already been created in Calgary and pull it into the park area and create something new as well. So building off the energy that already exists and applying it to this district as well.
Okay, and I guess the whole concept of connection, right, between East Village on one side and then you got 17th Avenue on the other side, and then obviously in between you're going to have Stampede Park and the event center eventually and all that. That's man, like that whole area has got that whole area. When you think about it, is just phenomenal compared to what it was maybe 5-10 years ago, right?
Absolutely. And I always say we have the benefit of being on the shoulders of people who've worked for decades before. And I think that all of these major projects, community building initiatives, they take time. Construction takes time. And so I think if you did a before and after, not only people have seen it happening in East Village, but doing a before and after of this area will not only have, the $500 million expansion to the convention center, the new road coming into Stampede Trail, the 17th Avenue extension, a new LRT station, a real gateway feature for the area, the event center, and all of the connective infrastructure between it. Stampede Trail, the goal for that is to be a festival street. So a street where people can, we saw it happen during the Raptors run in Toronto, Jurassic Park, where people just flooded the streets. And that was kind of where you went down to, regardless of if you had a ticket inside the arena, the event center or not. You want to be in the action. You want to be where people are. And that's the idea for that festival street, is that you can actually close it during really great events and people spilling out onto the street and, patios, all the rest, or, a vibrant urban downtown core.
The 17th Avenue, as it comes into the park, that will be accessible to vehicle traffic eventually, or?
Absolutely. Yeah, the goal is that you bring in not only pedestrians and cyclists, but also 2 lanes of traffic in off 17th, and then also 3 lanes of traffic on Stampede Trail. So really connecting the north, south, and east-west traffic lanes.
Yeah, and refresh my memory, if you will, that that whole area, you know, I can't remember where, is it Olympic Way, I think.
It has so many names. It's Olympic Way, it's Stampede Trail, it's 4th Street. So at some point we're going to land on the final name, but it's the Festival Street as well.
Okay, now and maybe for all of our listeners here, where exactly would the event center be placed?
So the event center, a good way to think about it is 2 blocks north of where the Saddle Dome is. So it's a 2-block area between 12th Avenue and 14th Avenue,
Okay.
between 5th Street and 4th Street. But it's really just 2 blocks north of where we all know the Saddle Dome is.
Okay, and I know years ago there was a lot of plans for that that Olympic Way, you know, from the Stampede Park down towards 12th Avenue. Are there still, you know, plans, do you think, to engage that area with whatever entertainment?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So really, in the design of the event center, which is still ongoing, looking at kind of how to create a facility that faces the street and interacts and is porous with the street and has people come in and out of restaurants, etc. But also on the other side of the street, on the west side of the street, between the casino and 4th Street, we're looking at some options for activating that area too. So lots of changes happening for that zone.
Yeah, and as I said before, like, you know, that whole area, whether it's East Village and I know people don't like to use that term anymore, but Victoria Park, you know, that whole area. I remember years ago, you know, in my days when I was at the Herald, I wrote a couple of stories, and I used to call the East Village area a wasteland, because that's what it was, right? And you look at it now, it's just like you got to shake your head and just in awe, right, of what is possible.
I think you're exactly right. I mean, when you look around, again, the before and after, I love those photos of, you know, the Simmons building isolated amidst construction all around, and now it's the place to be. And that's exactly the goal for this area. And when you actually look at the old layouts of the street grid in Victoria Park, it was connected. It was part of the downtown. And through a couple moves that happened in the 80s, it kind of became disconnected, and it was about, you know, large sea of parking and not really a lot of activity, a lot to see. I always say when people are down in that area, they forget that there's a fantastic Elbow River right next to it. There's some great amenities nearby. So our job is to kind of highlight what we already have there and reconnect it.
A lot of exciting things happening down there. Thanks, Kate, for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks, Mario.
That was Kate Thompson, who is President and CEO of the Calgary Municipal Land Corporation. This has been Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi on YYC Business. Thanks for joining us today.